Hello from the Digital Desk. I'm meteorologist Scott Mundt, and this is Weather or Not for Tuesday, December 16th, already halfway through the month. And we are talking windy conditions, not necessarily for today. Tomorrow they'll pick up, and today will be stronger than what we had yesterday. But we are looking at very windy conditions as we do get into Thursday. A front will move through. It's a cold front. Behind it, very strong northwest winds. To start the day in the western South Dakota, we'll see wind speeds probably over 60 miles per hour. We'll have strong winds during the morning, early afternoon as they do progress in the central and eastern KELOLAND. And then it's during the late afternoon, evening that these winds will start to die down. I have it labeled as Christmas heat. I saw some model data. I'll try to bring that to you when we get to that topic coming up a little bit later. That suggested 57 degrees for a high temperature on Christmas Day. So I looked up the records that we have for Christmas Day, and I'll share that information with you. And we'll take a look at our pattern ahead. Right now, I'd say mostly dry, not completely dry. We will have these scattered showers in the form of rain, maybe snow, but no major storms on the way. We'll take a look at both of the long-range computer models for the American and the European, and we'll see what they do show us. In the meantime, today will be another mild day. This is Futurecast. We'll have partly sunny skies. Temperatures will be well above average. We'll try to hit the 40s in eastern South Dakota, 50s in central KELOLAND, and we are forecasting a high of 60 in Rapid City. Front moves through tomorrow, starting western South Dakota. And ahead of that front, we will watch for these rain showers that will eventually move through western South Dakota as that front gets a little bit closer into western KELOLAND. And then those showers will slowly try to make their way into central and eastern South Dakota. This is Futurecast at 7 o'clock in the evening. It's kind of a broad brush as to getting these rain showers for central and eastern KELOLAND. They'll be scattered. 20-30% chance to see something. But notice this, too. We could have some snow showers for the higher elevations of the hills. Cannot rule out maybe an inch or two of snow into that location. Otherwise, we'll have to watch our snow chances increase as we do go through the day on Thursday. You can start to see that on Futurecast at 7 o'clock in the morning. You'll start to see maybe a couple of snow showers. We'll watch KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. But I do think the best chance to see the snow will be in the northern KELOLAND. We'll just see how far south the showers do make it for eastern and southeastern South Dakota, as well as Minnesota and northwestern Iowa. Should also change the view to show you that, we're continuing to see the snow showers for the hills of western South Dakota on Thursday morning. So as we go through time here and stop it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, mentioned before, we'll see how far south these snow showers go. It's enough for a 20-30% chance for snow, parts of eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. Anything that falls, hits the ground, will remain light. But keep in mind, too, that we'll have strong winds. And, that will be accompanied by the snow that will probably have some reduced visibilities, especially in the north central and northeastern South Dakota. I think as we do go through the day on Thursday, and we start to see maybe a better chance into the late morning hours, early afternoon in northeastern South Dakota to get these light snow showers. For today, we are going with dry skies. It will be a mild day. Temperatures well above average. We've had above average temperatures this morning. When you look at the numbers from this morning, many locations coming in surpassing their climate average high for the day. We'll go with a high of 60 today in Rapid City, 50 in Pierre, 53 Chamberlain, close to 60 in Winter at 58, 43 today in Sioux Falls, 47 Mitchell, 42 in Aberdeen and in Watertown. We'll have a temperature near 50 in Marshall, coming in at 48. Any melting that we do, and we will do melting today, that may refreeze or will refreeze as we get these temperatures below freezing in eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. Notice how those temperatures do fall to the 20s into those locations. And coming up after the break, we'll talk more about these windy conditions. Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Welcome back to Whether or Not. It's time to talk about the wind. Wind will return. Very strong winds will return by the time we do get into Thursday. We'll have another cold front move across the area. Behind it, strong northwest winds. Some of those wind gusts during the overnight and into Thursday morning. Over 60 miles per hour in western South Dakota. Closer look at that coming up here in a bit. Here's our wind speeds for today. They will be stronger than what we had yesterday. Yesterday, we had light winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour, mostly sunny conditions, temperatures in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Rapid City hit 64 yesterday. We'll go with a high of 64 today. But we will have stronger winds across eastern KELOLAND, help mix the atmosphere and bring in some warmer temperatures. That's the plan for today. And for tomorrow, they'll be even a little stronger as we do get into the afternoon, stronger south-southwest winds. Notice a couple of these wind gusts here in the south-central South Dakota. We could see those wind gusts 30, 35 miles per hour from Chamberlain, Winter, Huron into northeastern South Dakota. So expect strong winds for tomorrow, but even stronger on Thursday. Western South Dakota, starting to see some hints of those stronger winds for the hills. You see that area brown and even white for the hills just to the west of Rapid City. We could see wind gusts there 40, 50 miles per hour or more. And then as we get into the evening and overnight, those strong winds are expected to continue across western South Dakota. So much so that we do have a high wind watch in parts of western and northwestern South Dakota. Now, this goes in effect tomorrow afternoon, and it lasts through Thursday morning across the west. We will have other headlines probably added to this, probably a wind advisory, at least a wind advisory central and eastern KELOLAND for Thursday. But let's go ahead and take this. I think I'd have it going every 3 hours. Starting at 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, you do notice the strong northwest winds. Wind gusts looking at 50 to near 60 miles per hour. That is showing up in north-central South Dakota. We get a couple of these wind gusts in the upper 50s, Mobridge to Bottle. Eastern KELOLAND in the meantime, during the morning, wind gusts over 30, 35. And then look what happens as we get into the afternoon. This is at midday. Notice the stronger winds do transition into eastern and southeastern South Dakota. So by midday, we could have these winds gusting to at least that 50 mile per hour range in eastern KELOLAND, again coming in from the northwest. At the same time, western South Dakota, the winds will not be as strong, but still a couple of those wind gusts in the 30s. Now, keep in mind, too, that will be after having wind gusts approach 60, maybe even a little more in western South Dakota. We'll show you another time here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, still with the scattered wind gusts at 50 miles per hour or more. We'll just say any area there in brown will be around 50 miles per hour and more. And then as we get into the late afternoon, starting the evening here at 7 o'clock, these winds continue to die down with wind gusts in that 30 mile per hour range and becoming light in central and western South Dakota. Now, an interesting thing, too, before I get into, I think I have wind chills coming up next. Interesting thing, too, is these northwest winds helping to bring in the colder air. Last segment, I talked about the chance for a couple of snow showers along with this. I really think temperatures on Thursday will remain steady or fall as we go through the day. So in the afternoon, we'll probably have temperatures in the teens in eastern South Dakota. So the strong northwest winds will once again bring in much colder air. Now, I know that Brian showed you this. This is a meteorogram off of Iowa State. I think his brother put this together. What we are looking at here is the wind speed forecast. Now, this is momentum transfer. Think of it as you go higher in the atmosphere. I just want to hit the right button. You go higher in the atmosphere, okay? Say at one level, you have a northwest wind coming in at 15. The next level up, northwest wind coming in at 25. You keep going up, the wind's getting a little bit stronger, but coming from the same direction, so it gets coupled. What you're able to do is you're able to transfer that strong wind in the higher part of the atmosphere down to the surface, and that's what this is, not this one, but that's what this is trying to show. Now, I don't have, let's see if I can, that's not what I wanted to do. But this graph right here, where we have the peak in the wind, you see that occurring as we go through the day on Thursday. So probably during Thursday afternoon. I know it's not showing the bar graph over here or the axis over here to the left, but that's suggesting the wind speeds around 55, just shy of 60 miles per hour on a couple of the computer models. And it's not just one run, it's a couple of runs that's showing that. And this is for Sioux Falls. So during that time, we are looking at the momentum transfer, suggesting that we can have wind gusts maybe approach 60 miles per hour. We'll just put it that way during the afternoon on Thursday. I mentioned, too, that those winds will help bring in much colder air, and that's what's showing up with our wind chills, too. Temperatures remaining steady or falling as we go through the day, probably to the teens, maybe even a little bit colder in northeastern South Dakota. By the time we do get into the afternoon on Thursday, we're looking at these values for wind chills that are in the minus single digits and the minus teens. Minus teens showing up across northeastern South Dakota. And that more or less will continue through the afternoon into the evening. So after we have, a couple of days here with mild temperatures, with these numbers that are in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, we'll get a slap in the face with a strong front moving through, helping to bring in much colder air. Talked about the snow chances along with it into north central, northeastern South Dakota. The amounts of snow looking very light, less than an inch. But when you have these strong winds and the snow and these travel plans you may have, you have to pay attention to those roadways. They may become a little slick, also reduced visibilities with it. So the front will bring in our snow chance, strong wind, cold air. Just been talking about the cold air with these wind chills. You see them in the minus single digits and the minus teens to cover much of eastern South Dakota as we do go through the day on Thursday. Coming up next, we'll talk about the Christmas heat. We may have a quick hit of some warm air as we get into next week. Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Welcome back to Weather or Not. It's time to talk about Christmas heat. This is in our 10-day forecast, now day 10. That takes us out to Christmas Day, and I put temperatures that will be above average in the forecast. I think I have them in the 40s, had them in the 40s this morning, but I do want to show you, as I wake up in the morning, I look through a couple of these computer models, and what I found on one of them really got my attention, and I'll go through that coming up right now. As we go to this website. Now, this is a bar graph showing what the high temperatures, low temperatures are expected to be, and this is off of the European model. Well, your attention may focus to this 57. 57. Okay, what day is that? Well, let's go down the bar. That takes us to Christmas Day, the 25th of December. It's forecasting a high of 57. Oh, my goodness. So, that gets me thinking, well, okay, let's, pull back the reins here a little bit. Will we hit 57? The model thinks we will. Are there other models that think that we can hit 57? So that's what I did. I don't have my notebook with me. It's over on the chair. And I look at 8, maybe 9 other models, kind of average it out. And I think it ended up being in the 40s. The lowest had a high at 31 for Christmas Day. So you see, that range there from 31 to 57 are forecast highs. So, that's kind of what I look at when I'm putting things together during the morning, and that caught my attention, and for good reason, too. Unless you want a white Christmas, I know Brian talked about this yesterday, folks wanting this white Christmas, thinking, it's a shoo-in. We got a bunch of snow. It's been cold. It's going to stay that way. No, it's not. It's not. We're going to have, or do have, melting temperatures in our forecast again today, and that trend continues for tomorrow. But as I looked at these computer models with our warmer than average temperatures for Christmas Day, it got me thinking, what are the warmest Christmases that we've had? So you can see here in Sioux Falls, I did the top 5 for the 4 forecast cities that we do, and the top 5 warmest Christmas days. So the record is 50 degrees in Sioux Falls, and that's the coolest record I have listed out of these 4 cities. That happened in 1959. And then it goes down by a degree as you continue through the list. But nothing, too recent. The most recent one we've had is 1963 in Sioux Falls when we hit a high temperature of 48. Take a look at the list for Aberdeen. The record is 56 in 1907. We've had a recent high temperature of 51 on Christmas Day in 1999. And the same for Pierre. In fact, that's when Pierre set a record, 56 degrees in 1999. And then the second warmest day is 52 for Christmas Day in Pierre, 52 degrees in 1963. And Rapid City, the warmest, 63 degrees, set in, you guessed it, 1963. 60 in 1959. And then you notice their most recent top five for warmest is 2005 when Rapid City hit 58. And it happened 4 times for Rapid City to hit 57 degrees. So I looked at some of the warmest days that we've had for at least those 4 cities. And let's go ahead and go back to it. You notice that to get in the top 5, we need to hit 46 in Sioux Falls and in Aberdeen, 47 in Pierre, and then, of course, 57 in Rapid City. Is that possible? Sure it is. Let's go back to this graphic. Even on Christmas Eve, it has 46 degrees. So are we going to jump 11 degrees up to 57, and then we fall down to the 30s the day after? We'll see. That's a week and a half out, so we'll continue to follow that trend. But gets me thinking that, sure, we can have some heat here for Christmas Day. And here's a look at some of the other record high temperatures for Christmas itself. Everybody's in the 50s or 60s, except for Watertown. Watertown comes in at 49 for their record for Christmas Day. 58 in Mitchell. You see 66, the warmest Christmas that we've had in winter. 52 in Worthington and 52 in Marshall. So we'll continue to follow that trend as we do get closer to Christmas Day itself. And it looks like, we'll melt that snow that we have out there, snow and ice. And as that happens over the next couple of days, and these temperatures do get below freezing going into the overnight hours, just keep in mind that things will refreeze. Will we add any new snow to this? I have the pattern coming up next, and I already put in parentheses, mostly dry conditions. And I have it as mostly dry. It's not completely dry, but mostly dry. We'll take a look at some of the computer model runs as what they're thinking for snow amounts, both on the American and the European models. So stick with us for that information as we continue through this latest edition of Weather or Not. Welcome back to Weather or Not. Let's talk about this pattern ahead. Do we get any new snow to fall? And I think that we will. I don't think we'll go over the next couple of weeks without seeing any flakes of snow. In fact, we'll probably see some Thursday in northern KELOLAND with that strong front that's moving through. And then after that, we'll see what happens. But this is leading into this coming weekend. You see, by Friday, it's showing that temperatures across eastern KELOLAND may be a little cooler than average, but in the west, well above average. Let's go ahead and continue through time here as we get into the weekend. We may, push and pull with these temperatures a little bit, but overall, I think both Saturday and Sunday will be above average. And we will start Christmas week warm. That's what this is showing. Well above average temperatures, western, central South Dakota, even in the eastern KELOLAND. Notice how those numbers do stay, or those colors more or less stay around to give these temperatures to remain above average. And you can see it's expected to be well above average for Christmas Day. I've added an extra N in there on Christmas. I need to take that out. See that marquee and just cross that out there. So I'll have to do that for the next time I do show this graphic. That's a problem. I get too excited or I go too fast and my fingers going a little too quick that I add an extra letter here and there, and I have to go back and revise some of that. But I think you get the idea that, we are looking at temperatures to be above average as we do get into Christmas Day. And then I think we'll go back and forth, push and pull with these temperatures for the rest of the month or the rest of the year. And then we'll see what happens as we get into the month of January. But, we're just entering the second half of December. So we'll continue to follow what's expected for the rest of this month. Now, do we add any new snow to this? Well, the Europeans thinking, maybe by Sunday we might be able to add at least a little bit more as on top of what we may get for Thursday. And then toward the tail end of the month, it tries to add a little bit more, not much more, but a little bit more by the 27th of December. So that's the European. As we take a look at the American run, I already have it labeled in there for Thursday that we'll try to add some snow to it. And then we'll wait a while till after Christmas. It tries to paint something in there December 29th that we might be able to bring in another round of accumulating snows into the northern plains. And as I hit the button there, does it go away? Yep, and that shows the title page here for the end of the show. But before, I still have a couple of minutes left. Before we get there, this is a look at the snow depth that we have. And then I'll go through time here off of the European as to what it's expected to do with this snow. So that's a look at what it thinks will be around. Actually, that goes from yesterday evening. As we do go through time, let's go through into Wednesday evening, just because we'll have temperatures in the 40s in eastern KELOLAND over the next couple of days. Look at what happens. Just eats away at that snowpack in southeastern South Dakota. So that's a look at Wednesday evening. We're stopping at Wednesday evening. See if we add anything as we get into Thursday. We don't add any much, I should say. We don't add much, but it doesn't take any away either, because that's the day where temperatures will be cold and we'll just keep whatever we have on the ground. As we get into the weekend, not much changes. I know we have temperatures maybe into the lower 30s, but then as we get into Christmas week, and we go ahead and fast forward, this is Monday evening. I think we got rid of some. Yeah, very little. That's Monday evening. Let's go into Tuesday evening. Notice how this continues to shrink. And then once we get into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, a lot of that goes away. Here's Christmas Day itself. That's at 6 o'clock in the morning. We could have a white Christmas here, north central and northeastern South Dakota, as well as the hills. And then as we continue through the day, if we get those temperatures to warm what the European is thinking, we'll do a lot of melting again, north central, northeastern South Dakota. We'll still have probably some piles around in southeastern KELOLAND, but if those temperatures do hold true, then we'll also watch those piles of snow slowly go away as well. So let me just go ahead and go for the rest of the forecast period here. Yeah, it brings in maybe a couple of hints of getting some accumulating snows there toward the tail end of December. That's all we have for this latest edition of Whether or Not. Thank you for joining us, and of course, have yourself a great day.